be days like this when there's no one complainer. There'll be days like this.
The first contact we made when we started doing the festival through the East Side Arts Festival was just to approach Van to see would he do the festival, and he did that in Aircraft Park. What that did do was kind of build a bit of confidence between us and his organisation that, you know, we could do things and manage them properly. And just the thought just came into my head, why don't you try putting it in Cyprus Avenue? And I just had mentioned to his manager at that point. So my approach to that was just to go out myself, knock every door and explain what we're trying to do and set up a public meeting. I have never actually experienced such a kind of positive response to anything we have ever done before. So positive that I decided to sell all the hospitality tickets just directly myself by email. That I would say 95+%, if not 100%, of those tickets went to fans and not to big corporate companies.
At Tourism Ireland, our job is to inspire people to come here on their holidays. And people get inspired by things they're passionate about. Some people are passionate about golf, some people are passionate about motorsport, but nearly everybody's passionate about some aspect of music. There are figures which are being produced by, you know, some of the music cities in the world, like Nashville and Liverpool and so on. And I think Belfast would aspire to being able to, you know, compete with some of those cities in terms of its music offering. People who come for music obviously do a huge amount of other things when they're here. It can be a hook to bring people here, and it also can be a communication tool for reaching them in the first place. The people that came to these events, and I know this from the people I met at the Stormont event, you know, are leaders of business, they're leaders in culture, they're leaders in the media, and therefore that was also doing something for that wider, what we sort of term Northern Ireland PLC, you know, for all of us, no matter what sector we're in.
Music and culture and hospitality, that's part of what Belfast is now. So I think it just adds to the Belfast product, I think, first and foremost. So if you're choosing between to go to Belfast or go to Stockholm for a long weekend, you know, part of what you can do when you get to Belfast is always going to be part of that. We think it's at least 500 who came over for the event who were flying in from outside Northern Ireland using Facebook. I just asked them how many days do you spend in Northern Ireland, and the average 7.2 per person in Northern Ireland and 2.1 in addition to that in the south. So if you multiply 500 by 7.2, I think it comes to like 3,500, you know, and those people were staying in hotels at least £100 a day. So there's 350 grand just for one event, which Tourism A&I very helpfully give us £15,000 sponsorship. If I had given us £15,000 sponsorship, I'd feel I'd got a good return on that, to be honest with you. And if you go and talk to the restaurants up in Ballyhackamore, I mean, that's one of the things we really enjoyed doing, was putting the hospitality into the restaurants.
We first became aware of the Cyprus Avenue event, I suppose, about this time last year. Benefits to the business were amazing. There were numerous events, you know, in the days surrounding that, and in the run-up to it, and entertainment on in the bar each night. A lot of local entertainment and gigs. I think there is a lasting legacy from it, you know, and I would have thought that probably quite a few local people who had never been to the hotel before will definitely come back. I think East Side Arts are doing a brilliant job in bringing that local cultural tourism to the forefront.
In the build-up to the East Side Arts Festival, there was a lot of interest in what was going on. We did the lunch for all the VIP guests who were all on their way to the concert, which was great because there was people from all over the world mixing in together, all with the same enthusiasm. In this day and age, social media is just such a strong tool. You know, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of these things. People are sitting in their office at work, where are we going to eat dinner tonight? Oh, let's go there. Because I think there was a lot of people coming to the area that didn't actually know the area, you know, and we always have it as Ballysnackamore, they sort of call it now on social media, so that's our label we have. Ballysnackamore. So yeah, I think it was like hashtag Van Morrison, hashtag Ballysnackamore, you know. I think it put East Belfast on the map.
I mean, social media played a big part in how we marketed and advertised it. It played a big part in that. But actually, it played a big part in how people enjoyed it. I mean, some people, as well as using Facebook, people putting photographs up on things like Flickr, etc. And the follow-on impact through social media has been huge. The conversation is still constant. It is still absolutely constant on Facebook.
There was a week ago, just when the rains came. Down there no hollow, way to get laughing and running.
Everybody who was at that concert was taking photographs like mad, and those photographs cumulatively will have reached millions of people, and that's millions of people that we haven't had to pay to reach. So in that sense, everybody's working together and achieving something for the destination. You know, I think from our perspective, as marketeers, we have an amazing music product here in this city in terms of the venues and the locations which are associated with our world famous artists. Music has always been a fundamental part of our advertising, so I think the first advertising campaign Tourism Ireland put together involved the Cranberries. You know, and in the period since then, we've actually used, you know, Gareth Dunlop, we've used some Snow Patrol tracks. You know, various of our artists have formed a huge part of our communication mix. It's a good undercurrent to have in the city, that there's a rich music culture which is always on, and that's really important in this new social media era.
Belfast isn't just where Van came from. Belfast is partly how you understand and appreciate and enjoy listening to Van's music. And Cyprus Avenue, probably along with Hindford Street, maybe Orangefield, you know, those are right at the centre of that. I mean, I'm amazed how many people know exactly what Cyprus Avenue looks like, even though they've never been to it. One of the most important bits of this is how international, I suppose, local visitors experienced lots of other real quality local artists. So people like Melodian, Anthony Turner, David C. Clements, Alice McCulloch. There's some really inspiring photographs on Facebook after the event of people going back, and they weren't showing that, you know, they didn't have the Bushmills whiskey on it, they didn't have, you know, an Ireland rugby shirt. They had CDs of Matt McGinn, Anthony Turner, and they were putting photographs up saying, look what I've discovered in Belfast, you know. And I think that's lovely. And I've had some emails from people saying, I hope Van's doing something next year in East Side Arts, but we're coming back anyway.
Think.